Rochelle Walensky because we're on the whole COVID thing. Let's go to
Yeah.
Rochelle
About those
Walensky.
encouraging headlines that we're talking about this morning, this new study showing just how well vaccines are working to prevent severe illness. Given that, is it time to start rethinking how we're living with this virus, that it's potentially here to stay?
The overwhelming number of deaths, over 75%, occurred in people who had at least 4 comorbidities. So really, these are people who were unwell to begin with. And yes, really encouraging news in the context of Omicron. This means not only just to get your primary series, but to get your booster series. And yes, we're really encouraged by these results.
All right. So a lot of people were floating around the term eugenics in response to this.
Well, listen, the head of the CDC is basically like, it's only fatties, so fucking forget it. Who cares? I don't know. I definitely do think that, like, the idea, first of all, the comorbidities, there are so many with COVID. Right. You know what I mean? And it's not people that are like unhealthy through like fault of their own. A lot of these are like inborn comorbidities and stuff like that, So I do think it's fucked up and offensive, especially as we're telling everybody to go back to work. You know what I mean? It's like people that have asthma, the head of the CDC is being like, well, you're the only one that's going to get sick. And so who gives a shit? Get back to Duncan.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's a really annoying tendency, and I think we see this among some people who are very critical of vaccines, which is like, why aren't you exercising? Why aren't you eating better? And this is not leftist analysis. Like, leftist analysis doesn't look at why one individual person isn't working out more or buying more expensive, healthy food. You don't look at that because you obviously know that they're food deserts, because this is a class issue, because it's a lot easier to eat well and exercise like it is to do most things when you have fewer barriers. And,
I mean, a lot of it is that, people are just completely powerless and impotent. And so, like, for a lot of people, shrieking in a YouTube chat room is like close to the only way that they can like feel that they have any power in their own life at all, know? So it's like, you have to take it with that grain of like, everybody on the internet just needs to shriek so that they can like feel slightly better about themselves.
Right. Yeah.
But you're right, that it is like, it's disappointing, first of all, like, the head of the CDC is saying this because the objective is to get everybody back to work and get the economy buzzing again.
Right.
But it is disappointing to see people that are like so-called leftists or whatever get themselves all twisted up about this stuff and then go out and say the same sort of neoliberal shit that you see the CDC director saying.
Yeah, it's like neoliberal, it's rugged individualism, it's survival of the fittest.
Yeah.
It's really disturbing.